stop relying on motivation. Rely on discipline, and discipline is being able to take small actionable steps every day. It doesn't have to be massive. It could just be basically you waking up 10 minutes earlier than you normally wake up, and then do that for 2 weeks, and then wake up at 6:30. You don't go all in at once, because then you are going to be demotivated and you don't want to do the thing that you said you want to do. You start small, and as you start small, you build it up.
A-level further maths, it depends on what you want to do. If you want to get into like the top unis, it's preferred, but it's not required. Further maths is not required as much as you think it is, but if it says it's required, that word required, that's important. If you are okay with it to do 2 years worth of content in 1 year, okay. If not, don't, because it'll put a lot of pressure on you.
Hold yourself accountable to what you say you're going to do. You'll respect yourself more. Do not rely on motivation. Having motivation every now and then is good, but make sure you're disciplined. Discipline here, discipline in your body, discipline in what you eat. Everything, when you build it all up and you connect it together, trust me, the person that you become, you won't even need to say anything. People will know. Stay strong and keep moving forward. Good afternoon, people. It is currently Sunday, just finished the year 8 maths class. So we've just got a bit of a break before starting the next class. So I thought I'd quickly show you what we did today, if you are interested. So this is what we did, inequalities. And yes, maybe for some of you, you might think this is a lot of questions, but I don't think so, because I always feel like practice makes it perfect. The more they do, the better they get, the quicker they get, and they also start improving a lot more. And homework, you can see we have a lot of mixed questions here as well for them to do. So it's been quite an event for a couple of weeks, just a lot going on. I feel like, you know, things always happen in waves. So you're gonna have times where you are very busy, you're gonna have times where you're not as busy. And for me, sometimes I feel like when I'm not as busy, or maybe when things are not picking up as much, I feel like I should be doing more. But I think it's also being comfortable in those periods where, you know, things are not going to the way you think it's going, or going the way you want it to go, as opposed to expecting all the time to keep going up and up. So that's something I'm learning, that when things don't go as well, just to kind of take a step back, breathe, and just keep moving forward, but don't put so much pressure on yourself. And that leads me to the next talk that I wanted to discuss, which is this aspect of motivation, where I get students asking me, "Sir, can you motivate me?" Even parents, "Can you motivate my child?" And I actually want to discuss a bit about that, because I feel like it's something that everyone can relate. You don't have to be a student, parent, it could be for anyone. And I think that, you know, for me, I look at motivation very differently. So I think you can get a lot of value from this if you stick around and watch to the end of the video. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get ready for the next class, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hi, come in, come in. Yeah, Sienna, at the front, thanks.
She's not here.
Who?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know, she's not here yet.
So she's here. She's not here yet.
I don't know if she's coming.
So if she's coming, you're coming at the front, right?
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, that's the deal. If she's not coming. What's the first thing in a quadratic simultaneous equation? Make x a subject. So if you make x a subject of the second equation, 2y plus 3. Then sub this in where you see x and x. That's it. So instead of saying 2x squared, you're going to have 2 bracket 2y plus 3 squared minus y. Instead of x, you're going to have 2y plus 3 minus 9. It's interesting. What happened minus 9 and 10? Wait, are you sure it equals 10 or 0?
10.
Okay. And then minus 10 equals 0. So if we expand that bracket, we get what? 4y squared, 612y plus 9. And then minus 2y squared minus 3y minus 19 equals 0. Times everything by 2. 8y squared plus 24y plus 18 minus 2y squared minus 3y minus 19 equals 0. If you simplify everything now, 6y squared plus 21y. Who got this as a quadratic? Huh. Did you? Really? There's only 2 people got it then? No one else? Okay, and then you solve it. So if you solve it, what was the y value that you got?
0.041. The x is 3.082 minus 4.041 minus 5.082.
Okay, that was that. Okay, next one. Okay, right, so let's talk about it. Motivation. So the way I look at motivation is it's a fleeting emotion, right? You're gonna have times where you wake up and you're motivated. You're gonna have times where you wake up and you feel demotivated. For me, as I'm teaching these students, as I'm talking with the parents, I look at motivation in a way where having motivation is good every now and then. But the thing that's going to get you through is discipline. If you don't have discipline for yourself and for what you do and for what you want to achieve, motivation, or relying on motivation, isn't going to get you far. It's an emotional, fleeting state. So when I get students asking me, can I have motivation, or even on the comments, or even parents say this, I can give that, that's not a problem. But then the way to look at it is, okay, what does that student do? What does the parents do after I've given the motivation? What do you do? So when you feel motivated, you probably will feel motivated after watching this video, fine, great. But then what is your next action? What is your practical action that you are going to do after hearing this? If you're just listening for motivation and you get this kind of dopamine hit in your head, like, yeah, I feel motivated, but you are not doing anything, the talk or whatever you got motivated by hasn't really helped you. And in my line of work and the things I feel like I've gone through in my past life, which was very, very difficult, it wasn't really motivation that got me through. It was discipline. I get this backlash when I talk about discipline, that, you know, for me, everything is discipline. People think that, oh my gosh, you're too serious, you know, you gotta enjoy life, etc. And I'm like, listen, like, you do you, that's fine. I'll do me. I will rely on my discipline. You can rely on your fleeting emotions of your highs and lows, but then not have a way of, or an organized way of doing your life. Because if you're not feeling motivated right now, or if you're not feeling inspired, should I say, you need to stop relying on those things, and you need to rely on discipline. And discipline is very simple. It's something you do again and again and again, repeatedly, until it becomes a habit. And when it becomes a habit, you don't have to think about it. That's what discipline is. Discipline doesn't require willpower. It does at the initial stages where you have to start it, whether it's revising, whether it's studying for your exams, whether it's applying for jobs, whether it's your university, whether it's career, whatever it is, whether it's building a business, whatever it is, right? At the beginning stages, you're gonna put a lot of effort, a lot of willpower. But when you do that repeatedly again and again and again, it becomes a habit. And when it becomes a habit, it's a part of your lifestyle. Okay, Aaron, tell me what to do.
3x plus 12
Okay, fine.
on the bottom.
Yeah.
Then you cross multiply.
Okay.
5x plus 20
Yeah.
equals 6x
Equals.
plus
Yeah.
6x minus 3.
Okay.
11x plus 17 or 3x plus 12.
Yeah. And then what do we do from here? What are you trying to
The
do?
bottom,
No, what are you trying to do? I know what you're gonna say.
move the
No,
bottom
but
to
why?
the right.
Yeah, but
I
why?
don't know why.
No, you
why
need-
is math? I don't know.
No, but why are you doing that? What are you trying to find?
It's
It's
find x. Trying to set the x up the subject.
cool. All right, fine. All right.
Move it.
So what do I do now?
3xy
Yeah.
plus 12y
Yeah.
equals 11x plus 17.
Yep.
Then you move the 11x with the 3, then move the 12y.
So
with the
good. Tell me. So what is that? 3xy.
3xy minus 11x.
Yep,
plus
equal-
17 minus 12y.
Good.
You take the x out.
Yep.
So x and then bracket 3y minus 11
Yep.
equals 17 minus 12y.
Yep.
Then x equals 17 minus 12y over 3y minus 11.
And then
Then f minus 1x equals 17 minus 12x over 3x minus 19.
good.
Wait,
11.
Huh? 11.
It is 11. It's 11.
What did you say?
11, yeah, sorry, 11.
Oh yeah. Okay. No. Okay. Fine. All right. Good. What's funny, Aaron?
Why are you sucking your thumb like that?
I'm not sucking. Sucking my thumb means my thumb would have gone inside my mouth, and I'll be.
It is.
It wasn't doing that, was it? It was just. It's this. Oh, probability.
So please.
You don't like it, right?
Yeah.
Is probability hard, is it? Let's do probability then. I would say to you, if you're watching this video and you're saying, oh, I want motivation, I don't feel motivated, is stop relying on motivation. Rely on discipline. And discipline is being able to take small actionable steps every day. It doesn't have to be massive. It could just be basically you waking up 10 minutes earlier than you normally wake up. So for example, if you wake up at 7 in the morning, I'm just using this as an example, wake up at 6:50 and then do that for 2 weeks and then wake up at 6:30. You don't go all in at once, because then you are going to be demotivated and you don't want to do the thing that you said you want to do. You start small, and as you start small, you build it up. So when I get these students asking me, sir, motivation, I say to them, listen, like, what do you do outside of my class? Are you working? Are you studying? Are you putting time and effort? Have you got a timetable where you're sitting down and doing work? Because if not, my motivation is nothing to you. It will go in one ear and then goes out the other. It won't mean anything, because you're not doing anything practical after. That's the thing. Like, I can motivate you, no problem, but can you take that motivation and take actionable, practical steps? Most people don't, and that's why they are where they are. Even for me, I'll be honest, I'm not motivated all the time. And there are times when I'm not disciplined, but then I go back to, okay, all right, I kind of wavered off a bit here. I need to get back on the path. That's all it is. That's really what I see life about, is like, there's going to be many times when you're going to go off the path. It's not about going off the path that's a problem. It's about being able to go back on the path when you know you're off the path. Because if you're off the path and you know you're off the path, but you're not willing to go back on the path, we all make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. I make mistakes. I'm not perfect. I'm far from perfect, and I'm not expecting myself to become perfect. Even when I'm teaching students, I still make mistakes here and there. That's fine. It's all part of it. But it's being able to acknowledge it and be like, okay, this didn't go right, or I went off the path. Let me get back onto it and keep moving forward. That's all. Don't rely on motivation. Rely on discipline. Start looking at, okay, what actions can I take? If it means I have to work for an hour, study for an hour, do that every day. Build it up. If you can't do it now, start small, 30 minutes.
Did your mom say I had a discussion with her on the phone?
Okay.
Did she tell you?
No.
She didn't?
No, she didn't. When she saw your name, she's like, oh, this guy again.
That's interesting because she's the one who messaged me. Okay, probability. Since everyone loves probability. The hard bit is actually the diagram. Once you get past the diagram, it's actually very easy. It's just algebra. You're just timesing things and equating it. That's it, yeah? First and foremost, let's say, okay, red, blue, and let's say total. So if they've given us the ratio of 3 to 1, if we now bring algebra into it, how many, let's say in terms of x, can we say there's 3x counters and x blue counters? So what's the total? 4x. So now if I draw a diagram, so we'll see red, blue, and then again, because it's going to be taken twice, so we'll say this is red, blue. And then we'll take another one here. In terms of the red, the probability, so the total is 4x. So I know that's going to be over 4x, that's going to be over 4x. What is the probability that red will be taken out? So 3x, isn't it? Because the red is 3x. Blue, x. Do not get rid of the x just for now, you'll see. Now, just watch this. If I take a counter out, what happens to my total now? It's reduced by 1. So instead of 4x, what would it be under? 4x. Same thing for this one, 4x minus 1. But then if that second counter that's been taken is a red, what happens to the 3x? It reduces by 1. So can I say 3x minus 1? But the blue is not being taken, so that stays the same here, x. Now if I look at the second one, okay, another counter is taken here. So again, my total is going to be 4x minus 1. Again, total is going to be 4x minus 1. But now if a blue is being taken, what happens to the x of the blue? It's reduced by 1, so x minus 1. But the red is not taken, so that stays the same, 3x. That's it, that's the diagram. So now, we've got the diagram, we need to figure out which path we need based on this, right? Okay, what is it saying? It's saying the probability that both counters are blue. So what they're saying is the probability that both counters are blue, so that means blue, blue, is equals to 1 over 20. So what I need to do in the diagram is look at where is blue, blue? B, B. So there's a B here. Oh, there's another B here. So it's going to be this path, isn't it? Because everything else is not B. So what does that mean? Okay, the probability of blue, blue is going to be what? X over 4x times x minus 1 over 4x minus 1 equals 1 over 20. Because the probability of it being both blue, blue is 1 over 20. Now, just a bit of algebra here. So if I expand, so I have x squared minus x over 16x squared. Actually, you know what? As opposed to expanding, we can do this. It might be easier. So I can say x bracket x minus 1 over 4x bracket 4x minus 1 equals 1 over 20. So if I then write this here, x bracket x minus 1 over 4x bracket 4x minus 1 equals 1 over 20, I can cancel the x. Cancel, cancel. So then I'm left with what? X minus 1 over 4 bracket 4x minus 1 equals 1 over 20. And when you have something like this, you can cross multiply. So you're going to have 20 times x minus 1 equals to 4 bracket 4x minus 1. Because obviously when you times it by 1, it just gives you the same, isn't it? So then you have what? 20x minus 20 equals 16x minus 4. So if you bring it to the other side, that's what? 4x is equals to 16. So that means x is equals to 4. But the question was saying, what? Find how many counters are in the bag originally. So if x equals 4, my total, I said, is 4x counters in the bag, but I know what x is, 4. So all I need to do is 4 times 4. So the total is 16. What's important here when you do these questions is get the diagram right. If you get the diagram right, everything else is pretty straightforward. Just need to know the path. Is it blue, red, red, blue, 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 red, red? Once you get that, it's just a bit of algebra that you're multiplying.
The kids here, you probably see, we do a lot of questions. Like you might see my shorts, our shorts that we do and everything, and you see, oh look, we are talking, we are enjoying. That's just small snippets of my class. Overall, the whole class is very intense. So you only see just bits of what's happening. But the work that we do here is a lot harder. So when these students go back to school, whether they're year 7s, year 8, year 9, year 10, year 11, A-levels, school is a lot easier for them because they've done the hard stuff here. When they come here, I push them here. They're not trained here. That's fine. As long as they're willing to learn and improve, I will help them. And again, that goes back to what? Discipline. That's not motivation. They're disciplined. They're coming every week to learn, for me to teach them maths. And I've got great parents as well. The parents understand, okay, I need my child to improve. So they're coming and they're sending their students here. And then we learn, and then they improve and they get the results. That's all. Discipline doesn't require emotions. Whether you feel great, whether you feel shit, you're still gonna do it, because discipline doesn't care about how you feel. It doesn't. It might sound harsh in this climate, but listen, I'm just gonna say it as it is. That's what it is. You do the shit, you get on with it, and you keep moving forward. Whether you like it or not, it doesn't matter. If you say you're gonna do something, do it. Hold yourself accountable to what you say you're going to do. You'll respect yourself more. When you say you're gonna do something and you don't do it, you are diminishing yourself. You're losing respect for yourself, because now you know in the future that, okay, I say I'm gonna do it, but I'm not really gonna do it because my evidence stack shows that I don't normally follow through my word. So you're devaluing yourself. But if you do what you say you're going to do, even though, okay, not all the time you're gonna have some blips and here and there, that's fine. But for majority of the time, if you say you're going to do what you're going to do, you're going to hold yourself in a very high esteem. You're going to hold yourself very there and say, no, I'm going to do it even if I don't like it, because my word is my bond. I hope this has helped you. I hope this has helped you. And I'm not someone to try and bring people down. I don't want you to feel like I'm bringing you down. I'm just giving you a reality check where I wish someone could have given me this when I was a lot younger, but you know, it's okay. I learned it the hard way, and that's fine. You know, teaching these students and this amount of students is not easy. I can't rely on motivation to teach this amount of students. It's discipline. You can ask as well. A lot of the students will say to me, sir, I've never seen you ill. And I said, no, I have been ill, but I have not shown it to you. There is also a passion, of course, for the craft that you do, but then passion again comes and goes. After that, is discipline is what gets you through. So I hope you can get something from this. Understand, do not rely on motivation. Having motivation every now and then is good, but make sure you're disciplined. Discipline here, discipline in your body, discipline in what you eat, everything. When you build it all up and you connect it together, trust me, the person that you become, you won't even need to say anything. People will know. Stay strong and keep moving forward.
Sir, should you add X in question 2?
That's for you to figure out. Imagine this is an exam question. What would you do? You see a diagram? Well, if you take away 1 from 5x, what is it?
4x minus 1.
But you wrote 4x on the bottom. Oh, that changes everything. People are getting their diagrams wrong. For number 1, yeah? You're all wrong.
What is it? What is it?
I know what you guys all did. Read the question, properly. What's the question asking?
Do you want the star?
I apologize, you are all correct. For those who said 15. The question actually said work out how many blue bags there are. So that means blue counters, so it would have been 3.
So you got it wrong. So you're wrong and we're right.
I did apologize.
What's your opinion on A-level 5 math?
Why?
No, I'm wondering if you take it or not.
You saw something, isn't it?
Yeah, I saw your TikTok.
And what did you think about my TikTok?
It's epic.
Huh?
It's epic.
What do you mean epic?
It's really good.
A-level further maths. It depends on what you want to do. What I was saying in that video was, if you want to get into like the top unis, it's preferred, but it's not required. So it depends. If you want to go Oxford and Cambridge, look at, very simple, right? If you look at the universities that you want, go and look at the university, see what they want. If they say it's needed, it's paramount, then you need to do it. If it means it's required or preferred, if it says it's preferred, it doesn't mean you have to do it. So if I look at UCL, wow, that's quite, they want 2 A stars and an A. And they say A star in mathematics required. You have to look at first the unis that you're looking for. It's 5 choices that you get. And each of these unis and see what A levels they require. Further maths is not required as much as you think it is, but if it says it's required, that word required, that's important. If it says it's preferred, you don't need to do it. When I did electrical engineering, they said further maths is preferred. I still didn't do it, and I did get the offer still, just with maths. If you are okay with it, to do 2 years worth of content in 1 year, okay. If not, don't, because it'll put a lot of pressure on you. Reverse engineer. What degree do you want to do first? And then look at the universities. You still got time, so you don't need to make a decision now. First get the GCSE results. In the summer, think about it after the results. And that goes to anyone as well. You don't need to make a decision straight away of what degree you want to do. First focus on the GCSE. Because if you do well in the GCSE, you have more options. Another thing is you want to do really well in maths. If you're going to be doing technical subjects or anything for university, they'll look at GCSE maths as well, by the way, not just A level. So if, for example, if you get A or A star in maths, if your GCSE grade was like maybe a B, that could play against you.
Actually,
Yeah. For the top unis. So just be careful of that, yeah? Who's shouting outside? Sounds like they need a number 2. There is a baby crying.
so the your baby.
Absolutely not.
You can dress up Halloween.
Halloween?
Yeah, you can dress up.
You don't need to dress up. You're fine.
No, it's like your aura is so scary.
Who? My what? Aura, yeah, I've been told that quite a lot.
So just finished the class for the day, and we did, this was forming equations. I'll just quickly show you. So this is what we are doing, and you can see on the homework as well, I do go pretty hard, should I say. So what I'm doing is getting them exposed to a lot of the algebra, because when you get to GCSE, a lot is algebra and you need to understand how algebra works. And I know that in a lot of schools, they don't tend to cover the more harder, complex side of algebra. And in a way, that's quite detrimental to the students, because it's easy to teach the easy topics and, you know, everyone understanding or majority of people understanding, but it's when you go to the more complex stuff that not everyone understands. So it's always about okay, how can you try explain it in a way where people don't understand. So this is also another thing, right? Like, I have students in groups, and for me, I always look at it like this. It's not the aspect of, oh, because there's other people, you're not going to understand or you're not going to get the attention. That's not how I operate. The way I do it is everyone is different. However, you explain it in a way where people can understand straight to the point. Now, of course, that doesn't mean that they're going to understand it the first time. No, and I don't expect that. This is why you give them multiple examples and you explain it. And then once they've, you know, grasped certain part of it, they're not going to grasp 100% of it at the beginning when you give them an example, but the aspect is to get them exposed to it. And then once they get exposed, you go and explain it to them again. You write in the book, which is what I do, right? And then that's where the exposure gets more. So I think when you're teaching something to someone or explaining something to someone, don't have the expectation of they're going to understand things straight away. And that's something that I've learned. When I'm explaining to them, they might even say, I understand. I know they don't understand, but that's okay, because I'm just getting them exposed to this new topic, for example. And then you give them questions. And it's through the questions, when they do it, the exposure of the understanding would really be seen. And then that's when you fill the gaps. So that's something I would say as well. Like, when you're explaining something to someone, anything new, a new concept, whatever that is, the first part, they're not going to understand everything. And it's just all about repetition, being patient. And if you're able to be patient with these students, or even, you know, anyone you're explaining, eventually they will understand. To me, it's always about managing everyone's wavelength. I've always said this, that everyone has a different wavelength and you need to be able to match their wavelength. You have the person that, you know, a bit more louder than the other person, so you can raise your wavelength to them. There's another one where maybe they're a bit more shy, so you reduce your wavelength. But it's being able to understand what that student is like and matching them, so that you'll be able to reciprocate their level, and then they will be able to see you as, oh, okay, yes, I feel comfortable with him or her, and, you know, I feel like I can learn. So that's another thing that I feel is very important. It's one thing knowing your thing, your subject, or the field that you're good at, but it's another being able to explain it and go down to that person's level. Because for me, it's very easy. I can say to them, oh, I'm better than you, but why would I do that? Then no one's going to come. You've got to go down to their level so that they can see you like that, and then you explain it so that they understand. So that takes a lot of time to grasp and understand, but I also feel like it could also come naturally, and then you hone on to that and then you improve on it. So I enjoy it. I love it. I love the fact that you have all these different levels, and you're trying to, okay, go to this person's wavelength, that person's wavelength. So when they ask a question, you should also know straight away, okay, how do you answer it and what's the method, and be able to explain it in a way that they understand. So I'm rambling too much, but that's another thing as well that I feel that could help. So I'm going to wrap up for now, but essentially that's it for today. And I'm just going to go at home, enjoy some good food, and just take a rest. And we're starting back again the following week. Hope you guys have a good weekend. Peace.